a policeman named Lee, assigned to the Chinatown area of Garabong district. The district is known for its high crime rate, and the large number of gangster groups that rule the district. That day, Lee is checking out a market in Chinatown. But suddenly, a huge disturbance occurs due to a fight between two male gangster members. Lee immediately removed the knife from him and stopped the fight. After handing over the gangsters to the police on duty, Lee immediately went to the crime scene, where he was investigating. In this case, an incident of stabbing has taken place against a person, who is a member of a gangster group called Venom Gang. This can be estimated from the snake tattoo on the person's neck. On the other hand, at Venom Gang's base camp, Venom Gang's assistant named Sung was busy making phone calls in a corridor, where many female sex workers were seen roaming around. Sung then tells the boss of the Venom Gang named Kim, that their group is ready. It was revealed that his group was preparing to take revenge on the ISU gang, who had stabbed members of their group. Sung then ordered the other members to carry out their plan. When members of the Venom Gang were heading towards the ISU gang, they were stopped by Lee and other police colleagues. Lee tells all members of the Venom Gang to return to their base camp and cancel their operation, but they all ignore him. One of them even spit in front of him. Before the commotion can get any bigger, the Venom Gang boss, Kim, appears and talks to Lee. He said that the ISU gang was suspected in the stabbing of its members. Officer Lee immediately went to a gambling venue run by the ISU gang, which was the base camp of the ISU gang at the time. Lee managed to find the suspects involved in the stabbings of members of the ISU gang and the Venom Gang. When a member of the ISU gang is about to attack Lee, Lee quickly knocks him down and pursues the stabber, who tried to escape. After finding the suspect, Lee was threatened by the suspect with a knife, but calmly, he asked her to put the knife down. As the suspect continued to refuse and fight, Lee was forced to hit the suspect in the face, until he was unconscious. Next, we see 3 Chinese men kill a member of the Venom Gang, due to debt repayment problems. The leader of the 3 Chinese men was named Chul. The Venom Gang member failed to repay his loan, as he was forced to repay 20 times the amount of his loan. Chul and his 2 henchmen brutally torture the man. Chul hit the man's hand repeatedly with a hammer. Meanwhile, at the police station, Lee is busy interrogating the arrested stabbing suspect. At the same time, Captain Joan, head of the investigation unit, comes into the room and angrily yells at his division's declining performance. He is fed up with the nuisance created by the gangster group in his district, and many of them still have not been caught. Lee gets frustrated, and he decides to catch those gangsters. Lee and the other police officers visit the gambling place of the ISU gang. Lee was restrained by ISU gang members, but they quickly paralyzed him. Lee manages to meet the boss of the ISU gang named Young Soo, and forces him to make peace with the Venom Gang. Lee brings together ISU and the 2 leaders of the Venom Gang to make a peace deal. Even though he had refused, in the end with a little coercion, they were able to make peace. Lee also had time to take photographs of them as proof that the 2 groups had made peace. He hopes that the harmony between the 2 gangster groups will reduce the commotion in this district. Shortly after, Kim receives a call from one of his members, who was previously mistreated by Chul and his 2 henchmen. Every night, Kim and several members of the Venom Gang come to see Chul, as revenge for torturing their gang members. Kim immediately kicked over the table and asked how much the members owed when they got there. When Kim hears about the unreasonable amount of interest owed to her member, she spits on the bill, and asks Chul to politely and properly recover the debt. Unexpectedly, Chul immediately snaps Kim's neck and attacks his body until he collapses. Seeing this, all the members of the Venom Gang became silent, and did not dare to make any resistance. After seeing Chul and his 2 henchmen kill their boss, the rest of the Venom Gang becomes frightened. Chul orders assistant, Sung and other members of the Venom Gang to join him and follow his orders. From that night onwards, the leadership of the Venom Gang fell into the hands of Chul. On the other hand, Lee arrives at the karaoke place. He had deliberately come there to meet the boss of the karaoke place owner. The karaoke owner invites Lee to advocate for him, so that his karaoke place is protected from police inspection missions. That night, Lee was drugged and put to sleep. At the same time, Chul and his 2 henchmen come to a karaoke place to party and drink together. When Lee wakes up, he is told that something has happened, causing a manager to be seriously injured. After this, Lee asked an employee present there to tell the story of the attack. Lee was informed that one of the girls had reported that she had been attacked by a karaoke customer there. Then she went to the customer's room with her manager. It turns out that the customers were previously Chul and his 2 henchmen. When she reached the room, her manager immediately beheaded Chul's henchman, because his employee was being treated rudely. Just as his henchmen were about to kill the manager, Chul stopped him. Then he decided to go and apologize to the manager. But when Chul was about to leave, the manager provoked Chul and made him angry. Chul and his 2 companions brutally attacked the manager directly. Chul hit the manager on the head with a bottle, and cut off his hand with the axe he always carried with him. The karaoke owner becomes angry, and plans to find the suspect, who cut off his employee's hand, despite Lee stopping him. Meanwhile, Lee and other police officers continue their investigation to find Chul and his accomplices. The next day, Chul meets with Sung to determine which gangster group will be their next target. Sung said that another gangster group called the ISU Gang then controlled the Chinatown area in his district. On the other hand, Lee is looking at the CCTV installed at the karaoke place trying to find out where Chul and his two henchmen went. Since he still hasn't found any clues, Lee comes to meet Jang Soo and asks if he knows Chul or has anything to do with him. But Jang Soo doesn't know anything about him. Shortly afterwards, the police are shocked to discover the dismembered body parts of Venom Gang boss Kim. Based on these findings, Lee and his team concluded that Chul was not affiliated with any gangster groups in the district. He used to do all his work himself without anyone's orders. On the other hand, Chul and his two henchmen and other members of the Venom Gang come to their gambling venue to take over the place from the ISU Gang. After the entire ISU Gang members are beaten by Chul's henchmen, Young-soo has no other choice, so he hand over his gambling place to Chul. After successfully defeating the ISU Gang, Chul and his henchmen start dominating the district by defeating the gangster groups there one by one. Sung begins to feel frustrated by Chul's cruel and careless attitude. Especially when Sung finds out that his wife is having an affair with Chul, he becomes even more angry and feels betrayed. Therefore, he plans to kill Chul himself. The next day, when Lee and other police officers are having dinner at a restaurant, Lee accidentally meets Chul and his two henchmen. He immediately tried to arrest Chul and his henchmen, but his efforts failed, as his police colleague Kang was seriously injured by the hot water. After this, Chul and his henchmen managed to escape. That same night, Sung fights with his wife, because of her affair with Chul. The karaoke owner's henchman Sung arrives and beats him up. Sung is tortured by the karaoke owner into getting him to reveal where Chul is. However, the karaoke owner did not get any information, as he never found out Chul's hiding place. After Lee comes to dinner alone at his regular restaurant, a boy accidentally notices a wound on Lee's elbow, then immediately treats Lee's wound. This kind behavior of the boy left an impact on him. On the other hand, ISU Gang tries to destroy Chul's gambling place, as Young-soo still does not want his gambling place to be taken over by Chul. As a result, a fight between Chul's henchmen and the ISU Gang group was inevitable. Lee, who accidentally arrived there, managed to capture one of Chul's henchmen. The other henchman managed to escape, and immediately informed Chul about the incident. Hearing this, Chul became angry and planned to take revenge on Jang Soo. Although Lee captured his henchmen, he could not find any clues, as Chul's henchmen did not want to say anything. The next day, Chul and his partner come to the place, where Jang Soo was celebrating his wedding. His henchmen created a ruckus at the place, and he immediately killed Jang Soo with the axe he had brought with him. The district police commissioner was angered by this uproar, and he planned to transfer all these cases to another unit. But Lee stops him, and promises to arrest all the gangsters in the district, until he gets a promotion to commissioner. On the other hand, Chul is making a deal with a rich businessman, to kill the karaoke owner's boss. He said that he is ready to do this work if he is paid a very high fee. While Chul and the businessmen are talking, suddenly, the karaoke owner's henchmen arrive and intend to kill Chul. Unfortunately, Chul manages to escape with Sung by car. In escaping, Sung almost kills Chul, but fails, because Chul's henchmen help him and instantly kill Sung. Lee and the police are still trying to gather information to find and arrest Chul. First, Lee goes to a karaoke place, and tells the karaoke owner's boss not to make a fuss anymore. He and other police officers then asked for help from residents of the Chinatown area, so that they could document all the activities of the gangster groups around them, and report them to the police. However, things become even more complicated, when Captain Joan turns over his only informant, Chul's henchman, whom he had arrested earlier, to the Chinese police. Two Chinese police officers bring Chul's henchman, and offer him a special deal. The Chinese policeman promised to release him, if he and Chul were willing to become distributors for the black market of drugs smuggled from China into Korea. The policeman also gave him a drug sample to convince him. Seeing this, and he immediately agreed. This proposal was a strategy on the part of Lee and the police to find out where Chul was and arrest him. At first, Chul was still not convinced, and thought that the offer was just a trap, but after seeing the drug samples brought by his henchmen, he immediately believed and agreed to cooperate. At this point, Chul and his henchmen fall into a trap set by Lee and the police. The next day, Chul's operatives contacted the Chinese police officer, asking where the location of their meeting was. Just then Chul's henchmen arrived at the place, designated by the Chinese police. Meanwhile, Chul and his other henchmen go to the karaoke place to kill the owner of the karaoke place. His henchmen and the karaoke owner's members fight, while Chul tries to kill the karaoke owner's boss, who manages to escape. Chul managed to injure the karaoke owner's boss, and then he escaped to the recycling center. As Chul was running away, other police officers saw him and immediately chased him. Shortly after, Lee managed to secure Chul's henchmen and other gangster members, receiving a message that Chul was at a recycling center. He quickly heads towards the location to catch Chul. Unfortunately, after reaching the location, Chol managed to escape, and ran into the restaurant where Lee used to go. At the restaurant, Chol called the wealthy businessman, who hired him to transfer the payment to his account immediately. The restaurant owner and the boy working there are accidentally caught calling the police, so Chol beats them up. Lee then finds out Chol plans to return to China from that boy. He then contacts the karaoke owner to find the rich businessman who hired Chol. After catching the rich businessman, Lee asks the rich businessman to pretend to pay Chol, and drive him to the airport. After Chol receives his payment, he immediately leaves for the airport, but when he arrives, Lee is already waiting for him. There was a very fierce battle between them. Lee falls several times, but he manages to get up and finally defeats Chol. After it ended, the Garabong district police finally arrested 30 gangsters including Chol and his 2 henchmen. In such a situation, his success increased his publicity, and the captain started getting promotion. Lee and his fellow police officers can now enjoy their unit's Chinatown area as a place of peace and free from the chaos of gangsters. And the film ends here.